Hello, today we will be doing a supply chain analysis on a brand called Marimekko. So we know that Marimekko is a pretty well-known Finnish brand that has actually managed to go global nowadays. And among all of the lines that they managed, we have decided to focus on the clothing textiles. So let's start with the suppliers. They mention on their webpage that they mainly try to bring suppliers from Finland, specifically Helsinki. However, they do have some providers from other countries. The ones that they have been with for the longest time has been a provider from Lithuania, but they also have providers from Turkey, Indonesia, Portugal, China, and Vietnam. This is mainly because these providers might provide a better price for their products or might provide the products on different times of the year. So yeah, as we can see, their biggest provider nowadays is China, closely followed by Thailand and Portugal.
Yes, and in regards to selecting their suppliers, Marimekko opts for choosing suppliers around the globe, as we see on the prior slides as well. So they have a very heavy focus on protecting human rights and labor laws for all workers, including their suppliers, and they take this into account during their process for choosing their suppliers as well. So as a whole, Marimekko has suppliers from over 15 different countries, both in the EU and around the globe. They also value international craftsmanship and wants to include this in their operations. They view sustainability as a core part of their operations. This is why they also try their best to find trustworthy and sustainable suppliers for their operations. With this value in mind, Marimekko expects their partner suppliers to be continuously improving their working conditions and work in a responsible nature. They also apply Marimekko's own supplier code of conduct to all of their partner suppliers. Slide, please.
Yes, so as Chaska mentioned previously, Marimekko is a global brand, and this means that they don't only sell their product in Finland, but in many other countries. Continent-wise, we can say that Marimekko's key markets geographically are Northern Europe, Asia Pacific region, and North America. So, bless you, Chaska. Many of you might be already familiar with the fact that, for example, Marimekko often does collaborations with Japan, and there are many famous collaborations happening, and quite recently they actually also collaborated with Samsung. So, just to reiterate, they are very global. And of course, this does not mean that they don't include, the Finnish value, the Finnish brand in their products and services. They're always focusing on promoting Finnish culture, sustainability, which obviously attracts the Finnish customers, but also makes them a popular brand globally. And another great thing about Marimekko is that they are very inclusive. So this means that they don't sell their products necessarily to just Finnish people or to one group of people or to people from a certain category, but it's rather that anyone who is interested in their products can buy them. And their products are very wide ranged, so they don't only sell clothes, but they also sell, for example, kitchen textiles, bags, curtains, bed sheets, etc. A lot of things that they sell, and this means that the consumers get to choose what they want to purchase. Next slide.
So about their raw material, actually something very interesting that Marimekko is doing is that at least 20% of the main material of new products is regenerated from cutting waste or other leftover materials from old products. Now, to do this, they do use a manufacturer called Pedrosa and Rodriguez, which is located in Portugal, and they're going to pick up these leftover materials to transform it into new reusable and ready to use material. Now, the rest of the raw materials that they utilize for the production of their clothing lines also comes from the main suppliers that we mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, which includes China, Vietnam, Lithuania, and other countries, which also include Finland.
And so a little bit about their product transportation. So as we've mentioned, Marimekko ships clothing items worldwide, showcasing its very broad global reach and customer base. On their website and within some digging, they did not specify exactly what specific lines they use to transport their products, but it can be assumed that it's airplanes, cargo, ground transportation, things like that. And so in this, you can see on the graph in the hot pink that 11% of their CO2 emissions in 2023 came from these logistics. So this product transportation, whether that was from materials coming in or actual end products coming out and being delivered to customers. And so that is a very low number in comparison to a lot of international brands. Furthermore, they promote their eco-friendly initiatives by encouraging individuals to pick up packages at local stores and pickup points. So for Finland, this might mean that instead of getting your purchase delivered directly to your apartment or to your house, you go and pick it up at a local Marimekko store to reduce the amount of transportation occurring. And so ultimately, Marimekko balances the efficiency of their logistics with a commitment to reducing their overall environmental footprint. And so they've experienced some supply chain disruptions throughout their entire existence. For example, there's been various economic and social disturbances, and so Marimekko has combat this by their very strong financial position and their very diverse marketplaces. And so what this means for the store is that a disruption in one area of products may not affect all of the company as a whole, as they are very diverse. Furthermore, they also might experience production and logistic disruptions. So this means that their suppliers, for some reason, have some sort of interruption, or they cannot deliver to a specific area for some reason. And so Marimekko actually states on their website that they have business interruption insurance for various assets and business operations. And so ultimately, this covers insured risks of damage to the supply chain and the production. So there's very minimal way for the production and logistics disruptions to affect their company deeply. And finally, you have order variability. This ultimately means that the customers vary their orders a lot, and some things may become popular while other things are not so popular. And so they should increase their product flow management and review. And so they often do this by covering different areas and increasing the overall management. And so ultimately, Marimekko combines all of these financial stability, geographic diversification, and adaptive strategies to ensure resilience within their supply chain.
Yeah, so there are two main points that we'd like to suggest for Marimekko to further do if they have not already done. So, first of all, it's sourcing sustainable materials locally rather than sourcing them from other countries. And basically, the aim would be just to increase the reliance on locally sourced sustainable fabrics. And this way they will be minimizing transportation, and they can easily ensure ethical production because Finland has very strict laws regarding labor and sustainability versus, for example, countries in Asia and other countries that Cheska previously mentioned. And of course, this would impact in a very positive way because it supports the local economy, it reduces transportation emissions, and it appeals to the eco-conscious consumers. And then for our second suggestion, it would be using more circular economy practices. So we suggest that they introduce a closed loop system by collecting used Marimekko clothing for recycling or resale. And of course, recycling in general is very important and useful. And more specifically, this would reduce waste, it would conserve raw materials, and it would create an additional value stream through resale or recycled products.